Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So, it's finally happened. We actually are getting some new characters in Street Fighter that are actually going to be from Street Fighter, which I think most people have been longing for. It's been the thing that most people have wanted to see coming, basically. More than anything else you could put in the game. So, we are going to be getting characters coming from Street Fighter 6, okay? Now, if I can just reload here. Okay. It's fine. Like I said before, if they were going to bring new Street Fighter characters into this game, they could do it, and the way to do it would be through doing a collab. And thankfully it looks like this could be the start of something. And I'd like to think that this isn't going to be the only time that they would do this, okay? But there was an event last night, something called Rage Street Fighter. Now I've tried to look for streams and stuff to see if there is anything that kind of was shown off. I don't see anything. It looks as though it was maybe just mentioned. But we are going to be getting this Street Fighter 6 collab coming in Street Fighter Duel. You can see here there is a code, SFDXSF6. It'll give you a full arcade summon. But we don't know anything else other than that, right? So, who could we be getting? Who could show up in game? That is the big question, okay? So, we can take a look at the Street Fighter 6 roster and try to figure out who we think is most likely to be applicable, right? Now, let's run on the assumption that they're going to use new characters, right? Now, they might not. I mean, this game does love to throw up a Cammy variant, and to be honest, I would quite like Street Fighter 6 Cammy, okay? Not trying to will that into existence, but it is something that I wouldn't mind seeing, okay? Now, they could run this like the Turtles, which would be over more than one event, okay? Which is going to give the ability to get multiple characters. Now, I think, while that would be a pain in the ass to summon, I do think a lot of people would like that, because then there is a chance for you to get multiple characters from this franchise added in to the Street Fighter 4 base, okay? And obviously if this does well, then they might revisit this. They might do a Street Fighter Alpha collab, they might do a Street Fighter 3 Third Strike collab. You know, if they keep it Capcom centric, maybe these collabs aren't as hard to get the license for, right? So let's have a look here at who would potentially be applicable, right? So we'd have Ed, Aki, I'd say Rashid, Lily, we've got JP, Marissa, Manon, we've also got Kimberly, Jamie and Luke, right? So if we take away characters who are already in our version of Street Fighter, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be 10 potential characters that they could draw from, okay? Now, again, there's nothing to say that we won't get Hobo Bison, Old Man Akuma. There's nothing to say we won't get those characters. I would take those characters, right? I just feel like we're at a point where people probably want to get new characters within the game. Now, if they want to do something cool, like as a free-to-play sort of a thing, have this Ryu and this Ken, make it so that our C ranks awaken into those versions, that would be pretty, or B rank, sorry, that would be pretty cool, and it would allow them to like go a bit deeper with this. But again, I don't necessarily know if they're going to do that, so I think we're really, strictly speaking, looking at these existing characters. So, who's most likely? I feel like they do tend to favour females in this game, okay? But I think for something like this, they're going to go with the poster child. And to be honest, look, if you look at the box art, if you go into Steam to buy the game, Luke is front and central. I think Luke was originally envisioned to be like the new MC of the game. So I have a feeling that Luke will probably be one of the characters who we can get. Whether it's the only character we can get or not, I don't know, right? But I do feel like Luke is going to be probably one of the characters that we can get, or we will get. Now, if they're going to go with two characters, I feel like they're going to go with a male and a female, right? And out of the females, there is a character who has been quite popular lately, and if they are going to go along the lines of being smart with trending, I think they will probably choose Kimberly, right? So I think probably, in my opinion, the most likely outcome, if they're going to be doing a bit like the Turtles and having more than one character, is Luke and Kimberly, right? Now, if they're going to do like a double event, so something like the Turtles where it is a longer period split up over 2, who knows, maybe over 3, but if it's split up over 2 and they're going to add a second batch of characters, I think they're likely just to follow the exact same formula. I think they'll go with 2 characters, and I think it'll be a male and it'll be a female. Now, who would that be? Now, I did say Kimberly, but I actually think I might have meant Lily, right? To be honest, Kimberly, Lily, it could be one of the two of them, right? But if they're going to do a second part, I think we're highly likely to end up with JP, right? Someone who could maybe rival Bison. And again, if they're going to go down the male-female route, I think you're maybe looking at one of these 2 characters. If they go Kimberly or Lily in part 1, I think they'll maybe go one of these 2 in part 2, okay? Again, that is me completely discounting these other characters, right? Now, there's a reason for that. I just don't feel like they would get the license and then use characters that we already have, right? If they've somehow secured the license in a cheaper way, where it's more cosmetic, if that makes sense, so they can bring out a new character, but they've only had to license the look of that character and not the actual character license itself, then I think it's more likely we will receive variants of the same characters that we've already got. So you'd be looking at the likes of your Bisons, your Camis and things like that. Now, I mean, if they want to do that for a part 3, I am totally down, right? If they're going to do like a 3-part thing and at the end they're going to do some characters that we already have, then I am absolutely fine with them adding in some characters that we already have. And to be honest, I would like to see this guy, right? Because DJ has not had a good time of things in our version of Street Fighter, okay? So if they can bring out a DJ, that is actually pretty good and he's going to be based on Street Fighter 6, I'll take it. But only if it's like a supplemental part, like a part 3, like a bonus round kind of thing, where we've already had some new characters, then they're going to be giving us some characters who maybe are not so new. Although, honestly, at this stage, DJ would pretty much be a new character because we've not had a good version of him, okay? So I don't know if DJ would be a character you would be that disappointed with getting an alt for. Again, if they're going to go down the route of being able to maybe keep this going a little bit longer, I'd be perfectly happy getting another Bison because he looks cool, right? Let's just be honest, he looks cool. Same with Cami. I've lamented this before. We've got too many Camis. I would take that Cami. That, in my opinion, that is the best design Cami's had since her original. I'd say the OG Cami, this Cami, they're on the same kind of level with each other, really good designs. I think that if we could get this, even if they can somehow get a deal where they add cosmetics into the game, a lot of people wouldn't like that, right? But if they could add cosmetics, even for all of the characters, so if they're not going to do summons for... So they'll do new characters that we don't have, like Ed and stuff like that, but then because they want to make money, make people happy, they can strike some sort of a deal where they can get costume cosmetics for the likes of Bison, Akuma, Cami, DJ, or maybe not DJ, because unless you bring out a new version of DJ, nobody's going to summon that, right? Dalsim, Blanca. If you can get some sort of a cosmetic added where you can make the characters look a bit more like these characters, then they might not need to add a new version, okay? But I think when it comes down to it, when you're talking about potential for adding new units to the game, you're basically looking at the 10 units we've highlighted there. Technically speaking, I don't think they'll do this, right? But technically speaking, because of when this game is going to do the collab, it's either going to do it directly after Cami, which could happen, because in case you guys are not aware, we're following last year to a T, right? Last year we got Summer Arena, and directly after Summer Arena we had the half year anniversary. So once Kami's finished, I expect us to go straight into the 1.5 year anniversary, right? I expect us to go straight into that. This will either be that, which I doubt, or it will probably be following that, right? Maybe the month after, maybe the month after that, who knows, right? But it's going to be at least fairly soon, right? By that time, Terry will be out in Street Fighter 6. Now, the confusing thing about Terry and Mai, while Terry and Mai are actually King of Fighters characters, that is not classed as a collab. They are entering the Street Fighter universe, right? It's really strange. So even though they are King of Fighters characters, they're actually Street Fighter characters in the essence of that game, right? So while I think it would be weird to add Terry and Mai, because then why would you not just say you were doing a King of Fighters collab, right? It's because, technically speaking, those characters are licensed to be part of Street Fighter 6, not add-on characters, if that makes sense. So, I mean, there is the option that we could end up with Terry Bogard, or we could end up with Mai. I doubt it though, but the possibility is there, right? We'll just need to wait and see. But I hope this does well. If this does well, then they're going to look at numbers, they're going to look at figures. Now, I believe the Turtles did quite well. If they look at figures and they say, right, okay, well, what are we noticing here? We're noticing that if something is truly new, people will be interested. And people have been clamouring for the longest time to get more Street Fighter characters in the game. If this does well, then it ups the likelihood of two things happening. One, we get other Street Fighter collabs. So we get Alpha, like I said. The more important one for me, well, I don't say more important because that is quite important. If they're going to like, okay, let's look at what players are saying. What other collabs would players want? What have they been asking for? Darkstalkers. If this does well, the chance of Darkstalkers goes up, in my opinion, right? It doesn't hurt it in any way, shape or form. They look at the numbers objectively, they see, wait a minute, people playing this game are actually Capcom fans. They are fans of franchises where it makes sense for them to be in this game. Maybe we do give Darkstalkers a shot. So I'm all for this because this could be good for what's to come, and hopefully it means more Street Fighter. I suppose the only negative for me is, while I like Street Fighter 6, I don't feel like it's got the most iconic roster outside of the main cast. And the fact is, they're probably gonna have to go to these newer characters like your Looks and stuff like that. And I just wish it was another Street Fighter, because things like Alpha, things like things like Alpha, things like Street Fighter 5, I just feel like they've maybe got more of an iconic roster. But again, I guess that's all subjective, right? If this does well, that's good, you know? I mean, we could end up with Luke, we could end up with Jamie. There's loads of characters we could end up with. I just feel like we are most likely going to get one of these new characters, or else it's a wasted collab, right? If they just bring out what we've already got, it's a wasted collab. I'd take Rashid, you know what I mean? Rashid would be quite good, because Rashid's technically speaking a Street Fighter 5 character. So that's kind of like twofold. That's like Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6. No, but let me know who you think we'll get in the comments down below. Like I say, we could totally get characters we've already got, but in their Street Fighter 6 variants. I feel like that would be a bit of a waste. So really, I feel like you're looking at Ed, Aki, Rashid, Lily, Manon, Marcia, Marissa, JP, Kimberly, Luke and Jamie. I think ultimately that is who you are looking at getting our collab pool picked from. If they do it as two parts, I could totally see us getting at least 4 of these characters. And like I say, if they want to add in a way for us to take Ryu and take Ken and upgrade our B ranks to make them the Street Fighter 6 variants, I would be totally down for that. Now guys, just to point out, I'm not actually just pulling that completely out of pocket. They actually did do a thing where they brought out, I don't know if it was quite Banana Hair Ken, it looked like Banana Hair Ken, as a kind of tie-in to Street Fighter 5, where you could get, I guess it was a costume, it was an upgrade, I don't know exactly what it was, but you would upgrade your base Ken to this banana haired variant. We're obviously not going to get that, so maybe they could do it and give us Street Fighter 6. So wake up or awaken our B rank Ken, make him Street Fighter 6 Ken, awaken our B rank Ryu, make him bearded Ryu. I'd be down for that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I actually think this is probably the most exciting thing to happen in the game, maybe ever. All the hype collabs and stuff is one thing, but actually just expanding the Street Fighter roster is the biggest thing for me. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who do you see as a potential? And are you excited by this? I'm Hayzink. SFD X SF6. Get yourself 10 arcade summons, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.